Well, to tell us more about the situation, I'm joined by Graylin Hagler. He's a pastor and justice advocate, joining me via phone from Washington. Welcome to the programme, sir. Mr. Hagler, you're a pastor. From a religious point of view, how do you see the demonstrations and the whole situation going on, the 99% and the 1%, the corporations?
Well, I mean, theologically, let me point out that there is some great themes that particularly the protesters are lifting up. And in our sacred traditions, it really calls for justice. It calls for fairness. It calls for an equality that exists between human beings. In fact, one place that I always preach about is where we have the year of Jubilee. And in the idea of the year of Jubilee, that means that every debt should be canceled, that people are to be released from their bondage, that the land is to be restored to its original owner. So there's some radical concepts in our scriptural and spiritual traditions that continue to speak towards justice. Why? Because God is a God of justice, and basically God looks towards the least of these, so that there could be a world that is created that is not based on the 1%, but is based on all of us.
And Mr. Hagler, I mean, what are the lawmakers and decision makers in the Congress doing? There are reports that lawmakers are standing in the way of progress in the creation of jobs.
Well, the lawmakers really, they do not know what they're doing. This issue is really above their heads. They are too enslaved to the contributors that have placed them in office. And who are those contributors that have placed them in office? It has been the lenders, it's been the bankers, it's been the pharmaceutical companies, it's been the defense contractors. Those are the folks that have placed them in office, and so they really don't want to draw any of that into question because that is really their livelihood. But the reality is right now is that there is a revolution that is growing in the United States and around the world and will continue to grow. And it's a revolution of the have-nots who are now demanding that the haves have to relinquish and have to give up what they've stolen from all the rest.
And Mr. Hagler, what can the President of the United States, Mr. Barack Obama, do that he might not be doing to solve the whole crisis?
Well, I mean, one of the things that you need to look at it in sort of like what does he need to do or what should he be doing? And the issue is there anything that can be truly done? When you look at what happened in the Great Depression has spread around the world. The fact is that there was Wall Street demonstrations, and there were sit-ins in factories. And what finally came along was public works jobs that began to relieve the pressure and put people back to work. During the Great Depression, unemployment officially reached 25%, so it's far greater than what it is right now in the United States. But the reality is that they created public works jobs and put people back to work so that they could take the pressure off the streets and therefore quell any chance of a revolution. Right now, Congress doesn't have the proclivity to do anything radical. The President does not have the proclivity to do anything radical. And so we end up with a situation where everybody is hoping that the marketplace will take care of the problem. But I got news, I don't believe the marketplace can take care of the problem, because basically corporations found out that they can get along with less people, they can make more money with less people, and so there's no incentive to hire people back. And in that type of climate, you end up creating a context for people to continue to build, for organizations to continue to grow, and for protests to continue to get louder.
All right, we'll leave it there. Many thanks there to you. That was Graylin Hagler, pastor and justice advocate, joining me from Washington.